when I'm making this shit, I'm making this shit look good. Fuck on my shoulder, lights been on it, shawty's fuck around like no it, Throw on my own eye, fuck on my shoulder, I'ma be colder, I'ma be colder. Fuck on my shoulder, fuck on my shoulder, lights been on it, shawty's fuck around like no it, Throw on my own eye, fuck on my shoulder, I'ma be colder, I'ma be colder. On the Jackie, where she go? Throw my bank, but she throwing that back like whoa. Run that shit, I need to know. I ain't tryna slow the pain. Damn shawty, I've been this way. I ain't tryna slow the pain. No one running, no game. I say so, I'm reaping up. Gotta tell us twice, I'm keeping dog. Fuck on my shoulder, wanna keep him up. Steady running up. I'm in my lane, I'm on my way. Don't swerve, don't stop. They don't got it like me. I ain't worried about a thing, I ain't worried about a thing. What they ain't get like me, you like me, you like me, you like me, you on me, on me. They must see what I need. Couldn't fuck with me, fuck with me, fuck with me. You just couldn't fuck with me. Ice cold, oh. Yeah, I'm too with it, gon' ISO. Nice fuck, double live and them niggas too nice, Got them lining up now, wanna see me. Got the shawty listening to me on repeat. Gotta know by now. You know, you just know my name, know my name, know my name. Wish they see my face, see my face, see my face. I can't ask for love, and love, not from me. They don't wanna like me, wouldn't get it like me, wouldn't get like me, like me, like me, like me, on me, on me. They must be what I need. Couldn't fuck with me, fuck with me, fuck with me. You just couldn't fuck with me. Let them know now, yeah. I'm on with somebody told me, yeah. Can't hold now, yeah. Like I'm in too deep, 10 toes now, yeah. But it's hard to tell, but I feel like ain't nobody else there. Gotta know by now. You know, you just know my name, know my name, know my name. Wish they see my face, see my face, see my face. Baby, all the time, come on, come on, leave it down, I'm on my way. And I'll get some money, I'm on my way. You gotta send for me, I'm in my way. I'm on my way, I'm out of time, got this weight on me. I'm missing us, tell me what's it on me. I'm holding down, I feel it on me. I'm holding down for me. OMW, I'm my mama, OMJ. Well, I think that you forgot, but what you saw in me. Hard to love, but please don't be the one who got away. Just don't hum it, talking when I come and hum it. Hate the fact that we ain't spoken in some weeks. Blood on hands, but we just rinse it and repeat. Let's speak a language that we both know how to read. See, baby, all the time, I'm on my way. Come on, leave it down, I'm on my way. Let me get some money, I'm on my way. You gotta send for me, I'm in my way. I'm on my way, yeah. I learned to cope, I learned to tank, I learned to float, look, I learned some things. And taught a nigga how to earn your trust, I'm not concerned with them, I know you hurt some things. Look, I ain't perfect, I'm hurting, babe, that make two of us the way you purchase things. The service level not serving us, I gotta let you in so you interpret things the way I meant, and may I vent. Based off the things you post online, I can't help but think you gotta stay off that. Embrace the fact I won't brace myself for no downfall, know they pray on that. If loving you will make me crazy, girl, then giving up on you will make a psychopath. I'm on my way, I wait out back, yeah.
Good morning Discord, good morning YouTube. Alright, let's see if the market's going to be good to us today. Alright, first candle. Okay. Strong bullish candle here. We have our 5 MA at 590.56. I'm not feeling too well, so if I don't talk a lot, that's why. 5 MAs at 590.59 just about. See if we get any more strength behind this candle right here. Damn, first candle was 1 full point.
Ain't gonna ever kiss me. Heard what I said, and I can't help it. I ain't never gonna rest, never gonna test me, check me. I need. You here for me. Don't you fuck around, I know you hurt about me. I need. Okay, girl, I'm a touchdown in the matrix. Shawty send me your location, 120 on the freeway, speeding. Big check, blue pills, I'm beating. Young boy finna do my thing. Get the FBI, put a case on me. Feel like everything gon' cave on me. Shawty, hold on, have faith in me.
Alright, let's see if we get above 593.45. I'd like to get out of this range here. I'd like to get out of there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We had a good day yesterday. If you did good yesterday, no reason to take the risky trades today.
She be feeling type of words. I don't need nobody for the day. I just need somebody for the night. Been there and I never been the same. Been there, but I'm not the one to blame. I just need somebody for the night.
Looks like we're still in this purple that I made from this morning. Let's just give it some time.
Shawty wanna use me, yeah. Run it up, I'm mobbing. None of y'all niggas, they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. I'ma swallow all my pride. Won't be nothing but a side piece. Catching feelings with my pipe dream.
Alright, let's look to see if we break one way or the other in this purple. If we break to the upside, then wait for like a break and retest reject. I got a 50-50 right here around this time. Alright, we're testing to see if break of magenta is going to be our down for the day.
Gotta keep them pockets greased up, can't slip. Gotta get my mama's new whip, new crib. Tell your shawty listen from the city, from the sticks. And no matter where I throw it, yeah, she know it's gon' stick. Shawty isn't me, no babe. Shawty isn't me, no, yeah. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no. Heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63. That she wanna Louis and a VV. Riding on the CG. Heard about it, let me get it on T. And you know I'm holding out for the G63.
Alright, here are your possible scenarios. I'm gonna clean up this chart right here. Give me 1 second. Over the longer term, let's look to see if we form some type of shoulder, grab liquidity off the 5, and then head back up. So maybe like this. This is a longer term situation, so we gotta look out for that. Let's see. In the down, as I said, would be, we're testing to see if it's going to be the break of magenta here.
let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. Yeah. They ain't never get it with a dog like me. How we got cheddar singing door right.
And then yeah, you gotta remember the original one, which was this right here. But we're still stuck in this purple. So let's wait till we break one side or the other on the purple.
Straight back to the quick switch cars, I'm right back. Left, and you know that it can't. I didn't go left. No, when I move way to left. Yeah, shawty won't slide, try to know me. I can never get it too close. Me, cause she heard I got it on me. Yeah. Couldn't pull it up like me. Shit, now she tryna load my phone. Shit, I'm in the booth going ghost. Now they heard I got it on me. Yeah. Now they hear I got it on me. Yeah.
Fresh out the scene, bitch on the best out the scene. Bulletproof if you know what I mean. Baby, I just been questioning things. How you wanna stay with me for nights? Baby, I just wanna treat you right. Yeah, I'm thinking late through the night. And baby, you can stay if you like. Ain't no stress in this stretchless. Baby, no, I'm different. Hit my text when you downstairs. You know that I'm different than your ex. Stressless, that's my problem now. You got me thinking about you.
If you took this 50-50 to the upside, start protecting your trade.
I can never get it too close. Cause she heard I got it on me. Couldn't pull it up like me. Shit, now she tryna load my phone. Shit, I'm in the
If you took this 50-50 right here to the upside, if you bought calls on this 50-50, start protecting that trade. If you're just waiting till we get out of the purple, that's probably not a bad idea too.
Yeah, set up 4x4 for G6, this baby shit for me. 100,000, couple M's don't make a G. Cash me in my bag and put that 40 right on my leg. Yeah, you know it's how it is.
So it might be break a green for the day, but I'm not convinced with this green yet. Might be break a green for the day, or for right now. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. I think we could probably make this a little bit better. Let me see if I can clean it up.
Ain't more time for you. All the love and back the money too. Yeah, when money come to stones, I just stick and move. The way got me spending on my way back. Yeah, since we young as we was dreaming about a Maybach. I'm looking for my 41 days now. She said that she love me, Christy and they love me. This is how she think, yeah, she think. Yeah, say she adore me, Christy and they love me. Fuck with me some more.
If it was to go down, I like to see probably something like this up here, make a shoulder here, something like that, and then another shoulder here. That'll be the optimal down scenario. Something like that, right? We'll know it when it happens. We will know. Let's break out of this purple first.
Benzes and BMs now. Life don't make no sense now. Fall back too close. You ain't even know me. Trust my what is from. Way back from the north. It's the end of your. And then like they owe me. Ain't no will, ain't no time unless it's reason. It's the talk or the show. It's that stress to get me. And it's closer to the chest when your pocket's too deep. Who's on the Muppets? Life don't make no sense. Pop up for a minute. Eyes up on my whip. Benzes and BMs. Life don't make no sense. Fall back too close. You ain't even know me. Trust my what is from. Way back from the north. It's the end of your. And then like they owe me. Shorty more signs of 10 on my side and 10 on my side of Libra. Better come round, don't talk like that, don't come right back, they reaching. I forget where the kid came from, but
This short-term cup and handle's about to finish playing out, so we're gonna have to look for the next setup. It was thin structure, very thin. Okay, I'll take that victory. It was hard to play this. It was really hard to play this. But yeah, so that play's pretty much done. We gotta look for the next setup now. Perfect cup and handle. The exact flexion point in both directions, right? You got a flexion point here to scalp on the way down, a flexion point here to scalp on the way up. That's all I got. Cup and handle played out. Now we gotta wait for the next setup. And I think I can make this a little bit better. Let's see. I think it does need to go here. I'm not a huge fan of the magenta right now, but it looks like it's working. Alright, gotta wait, look for the next setup. This cup and handle played out. Let's see if we get continuation now. If we do get continuation, we want to look for this, something like that, right? Or are we just gonna stay inside the purple? I think we should just wait till we break one side or the other in purple. What we do know so far, buy calls in the bottom of purple and puts at the top. That's what we do know. I'm not a huge fan of this magenta. I mean, it's kind of working, but I'm not a big fan. So let's say you were to take a break in magenta here. If it is breaking magenta, we haven't confirmed yet. But if it's breaking magenta, then your profit target would have to be to the bottom of purple. So you have to measure risk to reward there. I would like to see a play off the 5 though. I want to see grabbing some liquidity off the 5. So for example, if it does want to head up, I'd like to see it grab liquidity off the 5. Alright, so here's what the play is. For the calls, we want deep structure up. We want to see a nice bolt like that. For the puts, your safety put is going to be below the 5 MA. So it's going to have to break, retest, and reject. Right? And then we want to see the 5 somewhere around there like that. That's your safest bet.
I learned to tank, I learned to float, look, I learned some things. And taught a nigga how to earn your trust, I'm not concerned with them, I know you hurt some things. Look, I ain't perfect, I'm hurting, babe, that make 2 of us the way you purchase things.
We're just in this purple, so let's wait for this purple to break. If you took break of this magenta, right, your profit target 1 is gonna have to be 592.38. Profit target 2 is going to be the purple, the bottom of purple, and if it goes past that, then good on you. Again, an ideal setup for the for the down would be, you know, if at some point we have our shoulder here, we form a head over here. I'm not saying in this amount of time, but this would be the ideal, right? And then it heads out of purple, something like that. If it does decide to go down here, we want to look for continuation. So not only breaking one of our algos, but a continuation pattern. So if you didn't take any trades, good on you. You don't, because there's, I mean, you'd have to be a sniper to get in on any one of these. Oh, nice. Someone made profit. Damn, Lee. Gambler today. Gambling. Yeah, this is a tight range in between this purple. So if you're waiting for some, okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. So remember, if you took the break of this magenta, profit target 1 hit. Profit target 2 would be this purple, right? And this purple is going to be major support or resistance, depending on which way you're looking at it. So I took this break of magenta, but I got stopped out for break even, or maybe a little bit of a loss here on this candle. So I'll just wait. I won't be impatient. It was like maybe $2. I didn't put any stop loss on it because I knew I don't want to risk too much, because I knew the target was going to be down here, but this candle got me. So maybe 84% rule. I tried. With the proper risk management, lose $2 and make, who knows, all the way to the 5 MA was the plan there. But yeah, see why profit target 1 was right at 592.38 for this reason right here. So if you did take it, you would have had to hold it till profit target 1, and if next profit target 2 which would have been the purple. But we don't have any structure, right? We're just going sideways, slowly grinding up sideways. That's all we got. So don't try to force anything here. Again, our setups are going to be, we want big movement. We want to make a shoulder here, a head here, another shoulder here for the down. Or for safety, we want to wait for the break of the 5 like that. Until then, we don't have anything to go off of. All we know is we're in the purple, going up and down in the purple. Boring morning. Boring. We might have an inverse forming here, like that. But break of purple would be a big signal here. Yeah, let's just wait till we get out of purple. You didn't miss any move. We don't have any movement. There's no move to be missed. This is sideways. There's no setup here. This was luck. I mean, pure luck. This cup and handle, this mini ass cup and handle, that's pure luck. And you'd have to get the perfect entry and the perfect exit. All we know is we're in purple. That's what we do know. Not every day is a trading day. Nothing wrong with it. We don't always have to be in a trade. We could try to protect our money sometimes. We just gotta wait for, you know, what it's supposed to look like. And if we miss candles and it moves on without, oh well, no big deal. We're looking for some type of structure. Yeah, we gotta protect. Yeah, I want to protect everyone's money, not just throwing guesses out here.
a me or no. They don't even know me. Now they feeling different when the money so fast. I got lazy low key. Shawty keep it down, I'ma be right back. I don't switch mode, yeah. Only switch names in sports, that's fact. I ain't paying notice. You know that won't play like me. Something that your money won't reach.
I'm trying to use VWAP or dancing right on VWAP, so maybe a rejection off VWAP right here. Let's see. Yeah, we need to get over this. We need to see some type of something more. Could be a slow grind up all day. Just a slow, ugly grind up, and that's when people start to lose their accounts.
Heard about it, let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. That she want a Louis and a VV. Riding on the CG. Know you heard about it, let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. All the greed and the lust. Cause you want a piece of the pie. All that shit is bleeding me dry. I don't want your piece in the rest. Hold it down for me. These I like bitches all the time. These days I ain't even gon' lie, don't let me down. I've been throwing these honeys on that dime. Spent 7 on that ring, no wedding vows. All that smoking made me tired. 22's a call it Tyra and Mariah. Talk about my nose.
Yep, this is chop. This is just chop.
Cause you want a piece of the pie. All that shit is bleeding me dry. I don't want your piece in the rest.
Looks like we have more call volume coming in.
Heard about it, let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. That she want a Louis and a VV. Riding on the CG. Heard about it, let me get it on. And you know I'm holding out for the G60. They ain't never get it with a dog.
Again, buy puts on the top of purple, buy calls on the bottom of purple. That's all we got. That's what I got for you. Otherwise, we're just inside purple. But that's fine, because whenever this type of compression happens, whenever we just get stuck in a range, that means it's building, right? And whenever the move does happen, it should be a more significant move. Whenever they decide to pull the trigger, it should be a more significant move. You see why it's easy to trade this? Because we know there's no trade. Why is there no trade? Because we don't see any real structure forming, right? We don't see any one of the usual suspects. We don't see anything. So there's no trade. Easy. But here's the thing. When it does start to move, you can't be like, oh man, I knew I should have done that. Because that, you know, that type of mentality gets stuck in your head, thinking of what I could have, should have, would have done, when you know that our strategy is waiting for the setup. Because we don't know when they're going to pull the trigger. Like if this one candle wants to just all of a sudden drop down to the 5 MA, there's no way to know that that's going to happen. Not that we know anything's going to happen, but at least we would have, if we had market structure, we would have something to go off of. Right now we have nothing to go off of. We just have sideways motion. We're pretty much back at market open. We haven't really left. And now you're thinking, okay, is this a momentum candle here? We finally broke out of purple. Alright, now we got some motion. Look at that wick, that nasty wick. How wicked is that? Let's see if we stay in this green, if we break out of this green. Again, we want deep structure. When we see something like this, we want deep meaning. Deep meaning to all of our trades. It could just be one of those ugly days where it trades like this, gives you a little bit of hope, and then it, you know, just grinds up in one direction or grinds in whatever direction. I honestly don't see any direction. We're at market open still. We haven't moved an inch. And I'm trying to figure out this magenta. I think it's fine, but not a big fan of the magenta. The green might be okay. I know the purple's solid, right? Purple's solid, but these other ones, it's not clear yet. There's no movement. We need more data.
right back, they reaching. I forget where the kid came from, but I guess they did amnesia. All the time when I'm making this shit look. Shawty want songs, but 10 on my side, and 10 on my side, a Libra. They come round, don't talk like that, don't come right back, they reaching. I forget where the kid came from, but I guess they did amnesia. All the time when I'm making this shit look. 15 right to my safe, 15 right to my bank. Long as my circle tight, long as my circle pay. If she gon' make my man, if she gon' make my man, I need my Beyonce. Gotta stay tough, stay tough. Gotta stay tough, stay tough. Then I'm a bug and call. Say that I'm a bug and call. I'ma go down when it get like that. I'ma hold out to maybe. Even out when I always gon' say, how you been good and good and driving it. Shawty want songs, but 10 on my side, and 10 on my side, a Libra.
You talking about this candle right here, the 1005 candle?
I forget where the kid came from, but I guess they did amnesia. All the time when I'm
So let's analyze this candle really quick. What this candle tells you is that they tried to push the price down. So it opened here. They tried to push the price down, but they bought it back up at the last second. So that means the buyers pushed it back up. So when it's top heavy, that shows you where your momentum is when it's top heavy. So that means they tried to push it down, and then they're like, no thank you, and they pushed it back up. I mean, it feels a little more, if the wick was a little, I mean, if the candle body was a little bit higher, then I could see that. Yeah, that was from that wick, exactly. Where's 1010 candle? So this candle has one more minute on it. I think this hammer candle would be a little more clear if the body was a little bit higher, or like a smaller body maybe. So yeah, the reason why this candle closed green, well, one reason to think about is because at the last minute, the buyers bought it up, and this shows you where your momentum is, which is why I pushed it up just a bit. But the same is true. Calls in the bottom of purple, puts on the top of purple. That's all we know so far. And that won't change until we have something like this, right? So if you don't catch the first move out, it's okay. We don't always have to catch the first move. We wait for the confirmations. That's why we wait for the retest and reject of whatever level we're thinking. And if we don't get continuation, right? If we don't get that continuation, then there's no trade. Because that just means you're doing this, right? So you need to see the continuation pattern. So don't feel bad if you miss the first move. Yeah, we're still stuck in this purple range. So on our 5 minute, this purple aligns with this purple, looks like. A little bit off, but I think the 5 minute probably a little more accurate, because the 5 minute, it was spot on with the wick. But there's no trade here, right? We're just sideways. Don't feel bad. You don't always have to be in a trade. We're waiting for the setup. The setup either looks like one of these. We want to see this, we want to see this, and we want to see this, right? That's one setup. Another setup would be continuation to the downside. Continuation in any direction. That's what we need to see. Like this, something like that. So if we don't catch this first leg, there's nothing wrong with that. That is the setup, right? That's telling us what the setup is.
I learned to cope, I learned to tank, I learned to float, like I learned some things. And taught a nigga how to earn your trust, I'm not concerned with them, I know you heard some things. Look, I ain't perfect, I'm hurting, babe, that make two of us the way you purchase things. The service level not serving us, I gotta let you in, so you
gotta remember, in trading, you know, we use a lot of pattern recognition, meaning cup and handle, head and shoulders, things like this. Double top, double bottom, wedges, we use wedges often. So you have to understand that the structure or the patterns that are being presented as you see it in the 1 minute are just a part of a much larger structure, right? So that's why I tell you, look what the larger structure, what does that look like? What does the larger structure look like? What is the setup? Do you see a head and shoulders? Do you see a bolt up? Do you see a bolt down? And then you translate that onto your 1 minute chart to see what algos need to break in order for your higher time frame thesis to work out. Yeah. We're gonna see right here. We're gonna see right here. We got some power.
Shawty, is she worried if I might show? Damn, it's hard to care for his side though. Out here with my mans in a night show. Drinking party, yeah, we keep the lights low.
And this isn't even real. I'm trying to find the structure here, right? So the only thing I could see is maybe that, but this wick went too low. This wick went too low, so it kind of invalidated this. So we can try to make it fit, you know, but I'm not a fan of this wick that went too low. Alright, let's see what we got. Yeah, it's a grueling day. This is a rough day. Yeah, for sure, we're not chasing anything. Because there's no such thing as a missed trade. Because every single movement is a leg in a setup.
Shawty send me your location, 120 on the freeway speed. Big check, blue pills, I'm beating. Young boy finna do my thing. Get the FBI.
And another reason, I'll give you another reason why I'm not I wouldn't be a fan of something like this is because this wick went so low. And, you know, I could be wrong, but this is just how I think about it sometimes, that this wick went so low that it only tells me that there is interest to the downside, or at least keeping it within the range. If it kept this actual shape, you notice how the other cup and handle was like perfect, right on the money. Not that I get it right all the time, right? I got lucky this morning. 80% of the time I get it right. But because this wick, it just makes me personally, I could be wrong, this is just my own thoughts, it makes me think that there's interest, there's still interest down here because it broke this flexion point. When I say flexion, I mean the point at which it turns direction. And also you got to think about, there's something called Fibonacci, and that's some homework you guys are gonna have to do. So it kind of breaks the Fibonacci rule. Whenever you see interest breaking your structure, if we think this is the structure, this means that it's invalid now. To me, technically, did it work? I guess, but this is why I'm not very confident with this, because it broke. That's the only reason why. Was I right? Obviously not, but I still, this is not a setup for me. Therefore, I don't feel bad not taking it, because this isn't my setup. I know what I'm looking for. Especially in this range like this, when it does pop, it's gonna pop. And it's either gonna obviously tell us if a head and shoulders is forming, or if it's continuation. It'll be obvious. And when it does happen, I'll explain to you what makes it obvious. Either we're gonna have, let's say it pops to the upside, right? It'll be obvious when it's continuation like this, or if it's going to pop just to form a head to do this. It'll be obvious, and I'll show you how it's obvious when it happens. Because me trying to explain it now is not gonna. It needs to be in the moment, or else you're not gonna get it. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this magenta, but we got nothing else to go off of, right? We don't have any data. It'll reveal itself shortly, and I don't want to go candle by candle trying to. That's not the right way to figure out the algo. That's just not how it is. If it's just not presenting itself, we don't have to force it. Because remember, this is all a part of a larger structure. This is all just a part of something larger. So we're zoomed in, but you also need to take into account the larger structure at play. Let's see. And not every day is a trading day. Not every day is a trading day. Not for retail traders like you and I. Not for retail traders. And this is part of the process of knowing how to manage risk. We've seen no real setup. I think Lee took that initial cuff and handle and made a little bit. That's amazing, but that you trust me like that, crazy ass. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we don't need to try to force anything. And if it moves without us, it moves without us. Oh well. We'll know it's always setting up for the next setup. I'm gonna clean up this chart. So technically that played out, but it was very ugly. It didn't really, it just wasn't to my liking. But it doesn't matter what I like. The market does whatever it wants. 593.35. Let's see. Okay, so on the trading plan this morning, let me read it. Trading plan this morning, what did I say? 593.41. Okay, so calls above 593.41. Now, when I say, I said something else. So it's not when there's a setup, not just because it hits the price, right? So what's the setup? Is going to be the continuation. We need to see continuation like that. Oh, thank you, Lee. That's amazing. Appreciate that. So right here, technically we're above where I said to buy calls, right? I said to buy calls at 593.41, and yeah, this now we're above it. So now we need to wait for the setup to present itself. Minimum, the setup's gonna be outside of this purple, right? We need to break out of this purple. That's for sure. We absolutely have to break out of the purple.
Gotta keep them pockets greased up, can't slip. Gotta get my mama's new whip, new crib. Tell your shawty listen from the city, from the sticks. And no matter where I throw it, yeah, she know it's gon' stick. Daddy isn't me, no babe. Daddy isn't me, no, yeah. Isn't me, isn't me, or no. Isn't me, or no.
So on the 30-minute, I have this magenta. I'm not sure if it's properly adjusted though. It looks like it's being respected right now, but we'll find out. So if you took the calls on 593.41, protect your trade. That's all I got to say. Protect that trade, because this is thin structure. So a good setup for that, for you to go in on it, would have been something like, so let's say none of these candles happen, but all the structure was like this, this, and then this. When this happens right here, 593.41, that would be a good setup. So it's 593.41 with the proper setup, not just because it went to the line. Because let's say it's setting up for a, where's 593? All right, so 593.41 we're just gonna say is at this line. Let's say there was a shoulder. This is actually a head and another shoulder. Then 593.41 wouldn't work, right? For calls, just because it broke above, you have to see the structure of the pattern. But if you did take it, solid move. It's winning. So when I first started doing this, I didn't want to say buy calls here, buy puts here. And there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I think there's a fear of just being wrong, right? And having people trust you and being wrong. And no one wants to be responsible for someone else losing money. And I did decide that I like the teaching method better and the risk management method better, because me telling you buy here, sell here, that means you're always going to be reliant on me. You're always going to be reliant on me forever. So that's why I try the teaching method. However, if you notice in the past little bit, I have been making those calls, but then I started specifying it with the proper setup, because it's not always going to be where it breaks. You buy exactly on key level, it breaks that level, and it just shoots in that direction. It's not always going to be like that. But I also want to get you guys some wins. Alright, so I want you guys to win. I need you guys to win. That's important to me. So I've been doing the, calls above here, puts below here. And even if you got 50 cents out of a move, right? So let's say it went from 594.50 to 594 in whatever direction. Even a 50-cent move, that's good money. That's really good money. So this is what I was saying, right? Just because it broke above 593.41, because there's no structure saying that there's continuation, we need to see some type of continuation above it. So calls above, meaning once the price does get above here, number one, that means we have momentum, and number two, we just gotta wait for the continuation from that momentum. So it looks like we broke outside of the purple, but not in convincing fashion. So you got to measure risk to reward on the break of this magenta, right? Break a magenta, your first profit target is going to be 593.45, this key level. So risk to reward there, you got to measure. Okay. Okay. Well, your next target is going to be VWAP, right? Because you see how price is just dancing on VWAP. Since it broke this, you know, the next thing you're looking for is VWAP. We need to get below the dotted line for any movement. So here's a good example, right? For the down, let's just say, at least we have some type of structure now for the down, right? We possibly see a head right here, maybe a shoulder right here, maybe we want to see another shoulder form right here, and then a little dance right before it heads out. So it looks kind of like this. But at least we have something to work with, right? So if you want to get in on the break of this purple with the proper setup, right, with the dance right here. So what we want to do is see continuation all the way down like that. That's a setup. If it's just grinding in one direction without any imbalance, then that's not really a setup. You need to have imbalances. So if you took break and magenta, protect your trade. You should be at least break even. Well, depending on when you got it. Now you should be at least break even, but you gotta survive some of this. And you also gotta watch out for look at this stop hunt right here, right? So we know there's gonna be major resistance or support, however you're looking at it, at this level because of this wick. So then when you get somewhere down here, you got to start measuring risk to reward from here to here. I was on mute. I don't know if everyone just heard what I just said, but not important. What I was saying is we're in an uptrend, so we should be looking for call entries, right? Because we're trending up. You don't want to fight the trend. Yeah, your safety puts are going to be below 592.38 from this point here. Because we're just in this purple. That's all we are. In the purple, grinding up. It's like that sometimes, which is fine. No big deal. Could you say just buy a call and hold it until the trend breaks? Sure, you could. But we like to go for like the money makers. We want to get in, get out, get the money and get out. So here are your two patterns from here, or possibilities. Either this is going to be a little head, a little shoulder right here. Either that's going to happen. This is on a very small time frame, micro time frame. Or we want to look for, what was it? The 541, calls above 541, or it's going to be the bolt up. Which means this candle right here should be a 50-50, this one right here. The candle at 10:39. Clean up the chart. Yeah, I'm just not extremely happy with this magenta. Or the green, really. The purple's the only one I'm obviously confident with. And with this magenta, it feels like I'm trying to force it. I think green works, but magenta I can't get it.
I think that you forgot, but what you saw in me Hard to love, but please don't be the one who got away. Just a humming, talking when I come and humming. Hate the fact that we ain't spoken in some weeks. Blood on hands, but we just rinse it and repeat. Let's speak a language that we both know how to read. See, baby, all the time, come on. Come on in.
This is painful today. Yesterday was amazing. Yesterday had great movement. Painful today. Low volume, nothing wants to break. Little fake out right here with this wick.
I'm not concerned with them. I know you heard some things. Look, I ain't perfect. I'm hurting, babe. That make two of us the way you purchase things. The surface level not serving us. I gotta let you in so you interpret things the way I meant. And may I vent based off the things you post online.
And I was so thirsty for a trade that I was like, okay, momentum candle. I just ignored this one. I was like, whatever. This is just continuation. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't go in, but yeah. That just goes to show you that even me, I'm trying to tell you what my mistakes are, and it's always trying to be in a trade even when there's no setup. Even when there's no setup, I'm always trying to be in a trade, and that's not the right way to go about it. So I have to remind myself by telling you all, don't do that. Like when a crackhead's telling you you shouldn't smoke crack, listen. Yeah. You just got to make sure that you only... So if you took a win, try to make sure that your loss is only a percentage of the win that you made. That way you can't lose for the day. But that's good that you have that discipline to know when to call it. Because today's not a trading day, right? Or at least not this morning session. It's just not. And we don't have to force it. Setups aren't there? Not there. Buy a call and hold it until the purple breaks down. That's the only the other thing we could do. If you absolutely had to trade, which we don't have to.
Repercussions ain't gon' ever kiss me. Heard what I said, and I can't help it. I ain't never gonna rest, never gonna test me, check me. I need you here for me. Don't you fuck around, I know you hurt by me. I need. Okay, I'm a touchdown in the matrix. Shawty send me your location, 120 on the freeway, speeding. Big check, blue pills, I'm beating. Young boy finna do my thing. Get the FBI, put a case on me. Feel like everything okay on me. Shawty, hold on, have faith in me. You don't wanna. Oh, I gotta.
Okay, I went in on this bolt here that I drew earlier. Because what I say, 593.41 was going to be buy calls. So when I got back down here, I went back in. Now I'm trying to see how much money I can make out of it. So if I get stopped out here, I don't care. I'm in profit. I bought it on this red candle. So a little bit, got a little bit, not a lot. But I'm not going to hold it too long. I'll go to break even and then I'll be fine if I break even. My break even's at 49, something like that. Really close to 49. Yeah, don't be greedy. You can't be greedy. Take the money and run. I knew I was doing it. So now that I got this little tiny pullback, I'm gonna move my stop now, so I can at least secure something. Instead of just letting it die with no money. I got a little pullback. Now I'm gonna move it up a little bit underneath. There it is. Okay, a little more money. A little bit more money. But I'll leave my stop here. Now I'm in profit, right? So I can't lose no matter what. So once I saw, because if you remember, I had this like shoulder here, I had a head here. Once this one broke above, I was like, you know what? It's too high. So I waited for it to come back, and then I went in here because it broke the structure. And now, okay, now we're making money. There we go. There we go. A little bit of patience. But I'm going to be quick with it. I'm going to tighten my stop. It's going to stop me out. Okay. One more. Just give me one more little push. One more little push and I'll be happy. One more push. Alright, I'm going to tighten it. If I get stopped out here, whatever. I'll take something. I did little contracts too. Only did a few contracts. Four contracts from here to here. How much is this? 45, 83. If I can get a few more cents out of it, that'd be nice. It's about to stop me out because I got my stop tight now. I'll leave it here. I'll take something. I'm just gonna leave it right here. If it breaks this, then I'm out. I made something. Moving my stop up a little bit. Collect a little bit more if I can. I need just a big move up. All right, tightening it up even more. Come on, give me a little bit more, a little bit more. They don't even know me. Now they feeling different when the money's so fast. I got lazy low key. Shawty keep it down, I'ma be right back. I don't switch mode, yeah. Only switch names in sports, that's fact. I ain't paying notice. You know that won't play like me. Something that your money won't reach. Then she gave no love on me. I'm about to get stopped. Okay, good trade. It stopped me out. That's fine. I made something. Alright, so here was my thought process behind that. I knew I had two options. It was either going to be a head right here, a shoulder right here, and another shoulder right here. Once this green one broke that structure, I was like, okay, let me reevaluate, because I didn't see any continuation down. Then, what was the other option? The other option was this right here. So it was, and I got, look, oh no, and I got stopped out for no reason. Oh my God, that hurts. It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, then my other thought process was, I know 593.41 was my key level from the trading plan. So it broke it, it retested it, and now I know that this is the rejection. So I went in on this red, that's just when I went in, or that's when it filled, and then I was able to ride it until here. So a little bit of money. If I would have held a little bit longer or not been so greedy, I could have scraped out some more. So that's fine. Would you just buy a call? Just gonna let it sit? Okay. I mean, it's moving that direction, so. Oh, if I didn't stop myself out. See, now I got the FOMO. I let this one candle, because I was being too greedy. Okay, but here's the lesson. The lesson that was taught right here was above 593.41 with the proper setup. What's the setup? You want to see it break, retest, and reject off that level, which is what happened. So if you've been paying attention to the trading plan or this whole morning, what I've been saying, yeah, this was a win. A nice win too, and I only took half my profit. It happens. It happens. It happens to everybody. If it just shoots up right now, I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, remember I was telling you guys, wait for the setup. What does the setup look? And I just drew it right before. I just drew it. I drew. Yeah, so the options were, it's gonna do this or it's gonna do this. So once this wick right here broke above the head and shoulders, that gave me an idea that okay, we got more momentum going up. So I just waited till it retested this key level and then went in on this key level here, and now I'm regretting being so cheap. That's fine. It happens. And now look at it go. Jeez. It's okay. It's just because I waited so long to even make a move. I did one over here and I got, I think over here and I got, yeah, right here, and I got stopped out for like very little loss. And then this one, it's annoying. That's annoying. That would have been a good play. That would have been a great play. Almost a full point. If I would have just waited a little bit. Almost one full point. So, off a key level, right? Off the trading plan. Don't say I never did nothing for you now. Look at the trading plan. Calls above 593.41. Only take the trades with a setup, not just because it breaks a certain price, right? So what was the setup? I just showed you. It was the break, retest, and reject. And why was it this? Because the head and shoulders was invalid. Why was it invalid? Because this green candle right here broke it, which made me think that there's more interest to the upside. If it would have stayed below, then I would have been happy to take this put if it stayed below wherever I put that shoulder. But because it broke above, now I'm thinking, oh wait, we have more interest above. Then I just waited for my entry. My entry was on the key level. And then my exit, I exited too early, obviously. But that was my thought process behind it. So when one setup doesn't work, then I know what the next setup is, right? Because it's got to be one or the other. I'll be right back. Just gotta step away for a second. All right, I'm back. Oh my goodness, look what happened. And I didn't go back in. Dang. Oh man, that hurts. Oh, that hurts so bad. and I had the call way over here. Oh my god. It's okay. That's my fault. My fault. No big deal. I cannot believe that. Look at the money it just printed. But man, that trading plan, the trading plans they hit, they all have hit this week. Because remember, like I was just trying to tell you guys early this morning, I normally don't like saying buy calls here, buy puts here. I don't like that for many reasons, but you know, there's a reason why I do. Because I want you guys to win. I want you to win. I wish I would have held a little bit longer. Look at it. It was perfect. Exactly what I drew. Yeah, so it was the win here was the break, retest, and reject of this key level, 593.45. That's the answer, right? So calls above 593.41. Look at the money. Look at the money that was printed from that. Oh my goodness. And I could have went back in on this candle here, the one that actually stopped me out, but then I got distracted. Oh no. And now I'm going to be chasing, so I'm not going to do it. It's okay. It's okay. Another way to look at this, which I usually don't like to use, I use it sometimes, but VWAP, right? So look at VWAP, the orange line right here. We see it's testing, didn't break, testing, didn't break. It kind of broke here, fake out, and then it rejected back to the other side. So it grabbed liquidity off VWAP and then sent it up. So that was a lesson here, right? I was looking for the liquidity grab off the 5. It just ended up grabbing liquidity off VWAP. I knew I was going to use it today, and I had it up the whole time, but I just haven't talked about it because I don't really use VWAP that much. But I knew to use it today, and I'm just upset because I feel FOMO because I bought a call at 10:42 right here, and look at it now. That's so upsetting. So upsetting. It's fine. I'll be fine. Okay, now we look for the next setup, right? What's the next setup look like? Still not a fan of this magenta at all, but we could possibly see a shoulder, a head, and then another shoulder here. We might see that. That's one possibility. Let's see. So if that's gonna happen, we want to see this. So wait for the deeper structure. You want your safety, wait till we get below 593.45. If we do get below that, wait for below that, which should maybe line up with VWAP too. If there's more upside, hold on. It'll be here, so that means this would be a 50-50 right here. So these are the setups. To go long, wait for a pullback, and then see if it starts to reject, right? To go short, wait for the retracement, and then the continuation. Otherwise, you don't want to buy a call now, right? I mean, you could, but there's no actual setup here. You could buy a call and hopefully it does its thing and works itself out, but that's not a real setup. You're just hoping that it goes up at that point. Lee bought a cheap call a while ago. We should tell her, like, hey, start moving your stop. If you're listening, Lee, start moving your stop.
I'm on my way, I wait out back.
And this uptrend's so strong, you don't really want to fight it. If you're going to be on here for a while, here's something you need to look out for. You see all this liquidity built up in between here? So that means that when it does break, it should have some good movement. If it does, right? A lot of liquidity built up right here. In this purple.
Damn, it's hard to care for his side though. Out here with my mans in a night show. Drinking party, yeah, we keep the lights low. I'm in my mind all the way. Ice cold, what a nigga gotta say. Sipping honey, we be mobbing through the night, oh yeah. Moving like we trapping out of bando.
Okay, what do we got? Today's been so annoying. It's fine though, I mean, no big deal, but I'm just annoyed because because I got stopped out for no reason. Look at the move. Hopefully I was able to help somebody in the Discord with the call out this morning. Calls above 593.41. Big winner. Big winner. When I wrap up the wins for the day, I think I'm only gonna use that one because that's the only legit one that I see. Yeah, I'm only gonna use that win for the day because I mean, maybe this break a green, but I didn't really specify break a green. I focus more on this purple, so yeah, I won't play it cheap. I'll do it the right way.
Touchdown in the matrix, yo. Shawty send me your location, 120 on the freeway speeding. Big checks, blue pills, I'm feeding. Young boy finna do my thing. Get the FBI, put a case on me. Feel like everything okay on me. Shawty, hold on, have faith in me, You don't wanna, oh I gotta, but I gotta. You don't wanna, like you wanna see her every day. She just wants somebody for the night. You call, I'll be on my way. Hard to love me when you got nothing to chase. She just wants somebody for the night. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't need you no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me up. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me up.
This is what I was saying. Well, you don't want to fight the trend. You don't want to fight the trend. You should be looking for call entries. On an uptrend, look for call entries. I'm not going to be in the downtrend until below 592.38. Slow grind up. That's all we got. I'll spend another few minutes on here, and then I'm gonna head off.
Been there and I never been party for the night, yeah. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. I don't need you no more, yeah. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. I don't really feel no more. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. I don't really care no more. Shawty wanna use me, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ay, run it up, I'm mobbing. Ay, none of y'all niggas, they poppin'. Yeah, I know you do this often. Ay, I'm running out of options. I'm okay, I'm fine. Ay, I'ma swallow all my pride. Won't be nothing but a side piece. Oh, oh. Catching feelings with my pipe dream. Oh no. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I sow, so for sure. But no, that's just for me and my boy. Keep secure, 4x4, G6 sleep on my hands. I'm no friend, I'm no friend. Pay for keys, can't pay for checking me. In the back when the windows turn. Yeah, 'cause they know tonight. Yeah, yeah, they know tonight. Tryna come take on me. And my 40 they don't miss. They ain't even thought this far. They never question me. Yeah, just like I know. Made room for you. You and me, I forgot. You had no place to trust. Just like you told. Just like we roll. Now we would barely trust. Now there's no saving us. Piece of me, piece of my, took some time. I'm just reaping what I sow. So for sure.
Okay, YouTube, that's been my time. I think I'm gonna call it here. Have a good day, YouTube.